Hi everyone, now we're going to move on to what is called unit price. Now, this is a major topic within this course, within this unit, and to be honest, this is one of those topics that will serve you well in life. This is one of the main reasons why, you buy things in quantity. Like you might go to a grocery store and you might see something like, let's just say, it's $4.50 for, let's just say, for 12 Pepsis. And then you might go somewhere else and it might say something like let's go with this now, sorry. $7.50 for, I don't know, maybe 15 Pepsis. And you might want to ask yourself, you might wonder, well, which one's the better deal? And so this is a real life situation where you need to figure out, well, what the heck is the cost? Which one's a better deal? And that comes down to unit price. And what unit price is, it is the cost for one item. Okay, so if I use this right here, you go and buy a dozen eggs. Let's say it's $3.24 for 12 eggs. When you determine the unit price, what you're trying to figure out is what is the price for one item. In this case, that would be for one egg. Now, there are multiple ways of teaching this, and based on the teacher who you're working with, they may teach it differently than I do. But I feel that using cross-multiplying divide will serve you well in this course and throughout this course. So, like if I was to finish off this example, this would be what I know, and this would be what I want. And this is repetitive from the last lesson. And you'd put your x right there, and you'd cross multiply and divide. So that would give you 12 times x is 12x, and 3.24 times 1 is 324. And you would divide both sides by the number in front of x, which is 12. Now that gives you 0.27. But it is very, very important to not just leave your answer like that when you calculate unit price. Unit price, by definition, if you look at the very top, is the cost of one unit. So you have to use the proper notation, the proper way of writing it. So if you answer this question, you would have to say it is 27 cents for one egg. The unit in this case is egg because we are looking at how much is it for one egg. If I simply just put this into, pardon me, I'll just erase everything here if I can. It's very straightforward. If I just did something like, let's say you buy 2 dozen donuts, and let's pretend it's $9.50 for 24 donuts. Now someone says to you, well, what's the unit price? You have to think in your head. Unit price is the cost for one unit or for one item. So that, in other words, means how much is it for one donut? And you'll also notice that donuts are on, we'll talk about this in a minute, but everything's consistent. Donuts on the bottom or items and price on the top. Your x would go right there, cross multiply and divide. So you get 24x equals 950. And I think by now you realize the pattern. You divide by the number in front of the x every time. And that will give you a value. So you'd go 950 divided by, so 9.50 divided by 24 gives you, well, I'll round if you try this out, 0.4. Now do not just leave your answer there because that's not what the question wants. They want to know what is the price for one unit. So that would be 40 cents for, one donut. And that would be an accurate representation of your final answer. So my advice to you is to set up the cross multiply and divide ratio with the know and the want, like we spoke about in the last video. And you can see already that this whole cross multiply and divide concept is becoming repetitive. Finally, if I were to, let's say I do number 1 for you here, this is what I would expect, what I'd ask you to show. So we know it is $3.99 for 2 kilograms of bananas. So it's $3.99 for 2 kilograms. So the unit price would be how much for one unit. In other words, price, this is our price, this is our unit. But if you look, how many units do we have right now? We have 2. Well, I don't want to know what it is for 2 units. I want to know what it is for 1 unit. In this case, it's 1 kilogram. Put your x, cross multiply, divide. So 2x equals 399. Divide by 2 on both sides. And, you know, there's a little bit of rounding here per se, but it's going to come out to essentially $2. And your final answer would be, the way you would write it out is you would go, it is $2 for 1 kilogram. Okay, and that would be the work that I would expect you to show. One last thing that I'd love for you to highlight on your page is simply right here. Some people get this confused, and it's in this part right here. And just so you know, it says, when you calculate unit price, it is always the money divided by the unit. So I'm going to show you, so it doesn't mean, you don't want to know it's, let's say, 24 cans of Coke for, I don't know, $6. That's wrong. You need to have the price, the money on top. So it would be $6 for 24 cans of Coke, and you can go from there. So unit price always works out. You always want money on top and amount or units on the bottom. Now there's quite a bit of practice here with this, and I really recommend that you work through these and work closely with your teacher and have that person check your work. But please show your work. Please use cross multiply and divide and go from there. I'll even get you started here with number 2. Lindsay orders a case of 1,000 paper coffee cups for her restaurant. So it's $94.83 for the case. So how much does 1 cup cost? So we know, remember, if we go what we know, what we want. So we know it is, remember, price on top, $94.83 for 1,000 cups. We want to know how much does 1 cup cost, or the unit price. So that's 1 cup. I'll let you finish it off from there, but you know, essentially once you have it set up, you are good to go. Please ensure that you know how to work on unit price, and I'll let you move on from there. Have some practice.